Michael, it's still relatively early days for HGI, but can you give any statistics on mid-market? Clearly, you guys have done your research. What is the gap in terms of occupancy, and how would that compare to, for example, the luxury segment in Lagos, which is in the high 70s?
I can't, well, first of all, I have to acknowledge I can't give hard and fast facts on the ground because we haven't yet opened a Hilton Garden Inn in Sub-Saharan Africa. I've got a number under construction, two in particular, one at Nairobi Airport, one at Abuja Airport in Nigeria, both of which are sort of in a race to see which one will finish first, but I'm pretty confident we're going to see one or the other open by the end of next year, so I'll begin to see the reality of placing this product in the marketplace. The other problem in answering your question, and it's not to dodge it, it's just a statement, is that most of the drivers in most of the major markets, stroke capital cities of sub-Saharan Africa, still enjoy rates and occupancies which are not natural. They enjoy the rate and the occupancy because demand exceeds supply dramatically. Lagos is a case in point. And take away what may or may not be good weekend business, but the kind of prices one has to pay for anything, for a bed, in Luanda, for example, is an example that this is not an ordinary market. And I suspect that if I opened a Hilton Garden Inn in central Luanda tomorrow, it would probably command rates almost as high as the so-called best 4- or 5-star hotel in the marketplace. To try, however, to answer you a little more fully from research, it should, of course, reflect build costs and room rates and room revenue, which is pro rata to the capex cost of the product. That's the proper rule of thumb. It's the way it works in any developed market. It reflects land price, it reflects availability, it reflects skill of marketing. I think in the short term, we won't necessarily see a very big gap between the upper market pricing point, whatever it may be, and the mid-market pricing point until each city by city regulates or regularizes its total offering in the marketplace.
Well, as you say, yes, in a lot of African destinations, occupancy and rate is unnatural. And my question to you, Panos, is would a large supply of mid-market products, would that put any rate pressure on the luxury segment?
So always the performance of the hotel is demand and supply correlated, and I would say if you have a plot, you might want to do it 3-star, but if you do a 3-star at the land cost that you bought it, most probably that will render the model and the whole project non-feasible and not attainable. So one has to look at what is presently the supply in the different segments, 3, 4, 5. And so what is the present supply, the present demand, future supply, future demand, and then establish the right product to the right size. So your plot might allow you to do 300 rooms on the mid-scale sector, but when you look at the performance of the existing mid-scale hotels and the upcoming supply, you might want to move to a different segment or downscale the product. So it's all demand and supply related, and yes, if you have more rooms on the 4-star segment, then basically, and there is the 5-star is totally undersupplied, then the few 5 stars can charge more than they would typically charge. But eventually, if more hotels come into the market, that will put pressure in all segments. So it all correlates.